But we're ready to begin the second half of our presentation today, and we're going to start out with another keynote from a gentleman by the name of Issa Chini with Redknee. Issa is the VP of Business Development and Strategy, and I'd like to invite Issa to come on up here and share his wisdom.
Good afternoon, lady and gentlemen. I see only one lady in the room, so lady and gentlemen. What we're going to discuss today is some ideas. It's not a sales pitch, it's just some ideas about the market trends and in particular what's happening in monetization. I think the lessons from today, we all have to think how can we monetize on the services based on the pressure we have from the telco side. So market drivers, then we go through expectations of customers. Keep in mind, customer experience is a very nice thing to talk about, but it all starts with the expectations of customers before it becomes an experience. So we'll talk about it a bit. What can we do to help? Not from a Redknee perspective, but from industry experts around the room. And are we the right partner for you, and what's beyond in terms of innovation? As you might know, the mobile environment has been flipped on its head. Mobile operators cannot set apart the innovation behind their walled gardens. Innovation today is happening beyond these walls. And if we look at the statistic from the app stores, 50 billion apps were downloaded in June 2013, while half of this number has been set for 2012 alone. So imagine the growth of app development. Behind this app, around 300,000 developers are developing on a daily basis and feeding the innovation. And keep in mind, these developers are also a new set of competition to all of you. With the same pressure that you have of expanding and evolving your network into an LTE, into other, you have to consider as operators, unfortunately, some of the gentlemen are not in the room, but you have to think about the mix of complexity that your back offices and your organizations are facing today, and are you ready to set apart this competition? What customers look today is for immediacy and for real time, and we'll talk about it in a second. A very familiar slide to you with the growth of data, etc. What I wanted to keep the slide is to mention the new players in the game, and I would like whoever doesn't know Sonopia today to look at Sonopia on the right-hand screen. They're a very small company in the US, or now much larger company. They can create for you an MVNO in 15 minutes. So they're working with brands all over the world. They can go to your social network and create for you an MVNO in 15 minutes. So just to see how the trends is going, all of their traffic is data. So they do not have voice traffic, but they can create for you to any brand. So they are approaching the Walmarts of the world, they are approaching the Carrefour of the world to create an MVNO in 15 minutes. So what does, again, expectations is a driver for experience, because without knowing exactly what the customer wants, we can talk forever about experiences and we will reach nowhere. So there are 4 pillars for us where customers look today for experiences or a satisfaction from their operators. One, they want everything real time. Of course, the internet has drastically changed the mind of people, but they want everything real time. They do not want to fill lengthy forms of services. They want to adapt services on the fly. They want to know at each second what's happening with their services. Second, they want seamless content, but not any seamless content. They want a personalized, seamless content. They want to communicate with their social media. They want to share experiences with others. It's a very low-cost viral marketing for us as operators, but at the same time, it adds a lot of complexity to how can we manage such a mix. And we'll see later what we do from a Redknee perspective in order to help you with social media increase your revenues, but also meet your customer expectations. Choice and transparency. We spoke, I think, about this. Naji, you spoke about transparency. So customers want to know exactly what's going on at any second, wherever they are, in terms of what is the pricing scheme. Are they in control to adapt services quickly? So they want choice, but at the same time, transparency from the operators. And we'll see how this will add complexity also to the environment you're going to manage in the next era of the world. So the change is here, but which means transformation should have been here yesterday. So the change is here. And if you look today at the services you're providing your customers compared to the services your customers are getting from the companies who are using your high-speed internet, such as Amazon or Spotify and so on. So you can see that there is a poor satisfaction from a customer compared to the other services they're providing, while it's the same backbone that's servicing the other customers. If we compare the industries, only 22%, this is, I think, global benchmarking. So only 22% of people recommend their CSPs to others. If we compare this to the car dealership, where we are at 45%, if we compare it to hotels, 40%. If we look at the Apple, it's in the 70s. If we look at Amazon, it's 69%. So again, the low percentage coming from people do not recommending their CSPs to others is because we are not giving them what they want. And the investment should be starting from the point where we say, what does my customer want? Of course, investment in the wrong places give us bad ROIs, unhappy customers, etc. So it's about time to think, where should we invest? And from our perspective, we'll share with you in a second. I'm not going to go through the details, but our view is it has to be a convergent customer experience. So we cannot look at silos when it comes to customers. If a customer is happy from a voice quality, but not happy from a data quality of an operator, again, we're into silos. We have to think about convergence also in terms of customers' expectations. And we will transform this into market agility. So we go and we say, how can we look at 360 degrees of a household where they have 5 customers from Etisalat, and how can we converge all their experiences into one? Which means that our business evolution should happen, or new business models should happen. Again, last year when I was here, we heard about partnerships with OTT. I really doubt that any one of you has already partnered with OTT players. So it's about time to think, how can we partner with these players, because they are a fact, they're here, and we need to think about new business models with them. Operational excellence always comes into the game, because if we have a bad quality network, bad policy control systems, we will face also challenges from performance and customer satisfaction. So just quickly to go also through the slides, I wanted to show you that immediacy, change and transparency is important. So I give you an example of Anna. She's at the London Heathrow Airport. She's a YouTube fan. She spends 70% of her traffic data on YouTube. She's roaming in Heathrow, but she gets an SMS. If she wants to get access to YouTube, she has to pay 1.5 euro, and then here she goes. So it's a very customized, very transparent to her. She knows how she's spending. Keep in mind, the only way to reduce your complexity from a charging and pricing perspective, if only you give control to your customers and tell them this is how you're paying. And because when customers are in control, they can pay to whatever you want them to pay. The other example is social media. So we have rolled out this in a couple of customers in Europe, in Germany in particular, where through Facebook, you can uplift future promotions to customers, because keep in mind, friends talk to each other. They post that Etisalat has launched a big promotion, use it. So, and we have made a calculation with an operator in Germany. They have increased the revenue from 3 to 5% based on such initiatives. Keeping in mind, we did not yet calculate the operational efficiency, but it's very basic. People can go to Facebook, buy plans, buy promotions, and increase their customer satisfaction. Dealer portals, many of you go into shops. It's complicated. Shops or dealer portal point of sales have to be very simple. They do not have to be at an operator stand. It can be in a supermarket. It can be in a soccer club. So they have to be as simple as an app store. So simplifying your operational experience will give also an immediacy and real time to the customers. Proactive care. I mean, Twitter is adding a lot of value to our operational efficiency, and keeping a system with proper, as Mr. Rifai said, proper analytics will help you also proactively manage your customers and reduce their churn, but also uplift them in future revenues. So what does a customer need in our perspective today? So we need a new BSS backbone, and this backbone is nothing but to assess the service complexity, to add quality of service by policy control, to be real time, whether we manage a household, whether we manage a segment of the market. We see we're working a lot today in segmenting markets in North America or in Western Europe. It doesn't have to be MVNOs where regulation also are not ready. It can be a simple segment, another brand or your network where you launch it for Filipino community or for other communities. So it doesn't have to always be a regulated market, but that's an activity where real CRM can help you also manage your expectations from a segmentation point of view. And self-care. We noticed that self-care provides you a lot of operational efficiency. A lot of CSRs are reducing their man force because of self-care utilities. Who's Redknee? Just a snapshot. So I just wanted to read the top line. Redknee is today the largest monetization, converged monetization company without the other statistics, but we're proud to be there because we're helping also a lot of operators to move along with us in terms of innovation. We'll talk a little bit later on, but we're committed more and more to this region because in this region we see a lot of innovation coming from all of you. I wanted to share with you in the last 2-3 slides about the future for us. So we see Khalifa is not here, unfortunately, but we see also M2M is a big driver for us. Hi, Khalifa is there. So we see a big driver for us in terms of monetization because we see that telco have a big chance to move into other verticals. They have the infrastructure, the reach, as Osman mentioned today. They have the distribution channels, the mechanism to the financial backbone. So we see that telco should move more and more into machine to machine. Today, utilities are the biggest driver of so smart meters. We're working with a lot of smart meters companies in Canada and elsewhere, where today utilities is the biggest driver of M2M. Utilities, as on its base, it's not only about sensors and connectivity, it's about new business models. So we have to think how can machine to machine change our business behavior, not only about the sensors community. I give you an example. In Canada, I pay for my car insurance only for the kilometers I drive and not for per year tariffing. So while others call it smart cities, I mean, we can still keep the name smart city. I don't know how this name will change in the future because smart city means that other cities are not so smart. But we'll see how this will evolve in the future. For us, these are lifestyle services. And the picture you see on the projector is nothing but a real-life project we're engaged in Japan, in Tokyo, Japan today, where an operator has launched all of these other what they call life services, also from a technology perspective. But we're engaged when somebody leaves his home in the morning, his cell phone activates a low tariff for his smart meters. When he accesses the train, if he's a kid, his parents will know that his kid is or her kid is on the train. When he reaches school, also they know that he's at school. So all of these ecosystems of services need somebody to monetize, and I think we're more than ready to work with you on how telco can move into such an environment, because the mix of these services, I give you an example, smart retail. People buy their grocery on the train in Tokyo, and when they reach home, they have the delivery in front of their house. I'm not sure how safe it is to do it here, but just how to tell you how the behavior is changing in terms of, at the end of the day, you need a backbone to monetize all of this, whether on top of the M2M, whether also in the same ecosystem of the M2M, but you need somebody who monetize all of these services. Again, just a snapshot of how we do it. So the lifestyle services are the e-mobility, are services such as security. The commodity services we know today from our industries are the electricity, other type of services. They can be segmented also in brands. So if you are a loyal fan to an electricity company, you can always be also a loyal fan to another operator. What we do, we offer them a CRM, a billing, a rating, and also the way to manage the cross bundle. Because when it gets into a mixture of services, the complexity of managing your return on investment will be huge. So it's not only about giving flat fees or monthly subscriptions to subscribers. You have to think about 5 years from today how this mix of services will impact your revenues. The last slide from our perspective. So we're committed, especially to this region. I think it's good to meet old colleagues and old friends from operators. What we give you is a fast time to market, flexible. We do it on-premise today. We do it in the cloud, where you can launch any services in moments, and will help you drive your revenue up, but also anticipate the future in terms of what it's going to be when it comes to monetization or branding or keeping the loyalty of customers.